Ever stop and wonder how the United States became, well, the United States, the world's single superpower? We usually talk about its economy, its military, or its politics, but what if the real answer is written right on the map? In this explainer, we're going to explore a wild idea that simple geography might have set the US on a path to greatness from the very beginning.
In fact, there's this really compelling theory out there that the US didn't just luck into its role as a global leader. It suggests that, with its one-of-a-kind geographic setup, America had pretty much no other choice but to become what some have called an inevitable empire. Kind of mind-blowing, right?
So, okay, that's the big question, isn't it? What exactly makes it inevitable? What is it about the North American continent that handed the US such an unbelievably powerful and stable foundation? Well, that's exactly what we're going to break down.
Okay, so it all starts with hitting what you can only describe as the geographic jackpot. Seriously, long before any government or policy came into play, the land itself, the soil, the rivers, was laying the groundwork for a future superpower. First up, the American Midwest. And we're not just talking about some farmland here. This is the single largest connected piece of high-quality, farmable land on the entire planet. And it's all sitting right in that perfect temperate climate zone where things just bruck. What makes this place so special is this perfect recipe of factors that all came together. You've got tons of rain, these huge flat plains that are super easy to farm, and this rich prairie soil that you don't have to spend years clearing dense forests from. It's the absolute perfect storm for an agricultural explosion. But, growing all that food is one thing. You've still got to get it to market. And this is where the US hit the jackpot a second time. It was basically handed a free, ready-to-use transportation superhighway. I am, of course, talking about the Mississippi River Basin. Just try to picture this, a massive, sprawling network of rivers naturally deep enough to sail on for thousands of kilometers, and it's laid perfectly on top of that exact same agricultural heartland. It's like someone gifted you the world's best shipping infrastructure already built, for free. And wow, this really shows you just how massive that advantage is. Just look at these numbers. Moving stuff by river is 10 to 30 times cheaper than using trains or trucks. This one geographic feature gave the United States an economic head start that is almost impossible to overstate. So here's the kicker. This unified river system did way more than just move corn and steel. It stitched a huge territory together. Think about Europe, where different rivers often created different countries. The Mississippi Basin did the opposite. It encouraged the creation of a single, connected economic and political giant. All right, so you've got all this incredible internal wealth brewing. How did America's geography protect it from the outside world? Well, the answer is the ultimate defense system, a giant ocean moat. I mean, the difference here is just night and day. While all the powers in Europe and Asia were spending centuries and fortunes fighting wars with the guys next door, the United States was basically chilling. It's protected on two sides by massive oceans, and its land neighbors just weren't an existential threat. This incredible isolation basically turns the U.S. into a continental island. It gave the country the peace and quiet it needed to grow its economy and figure out its political system, all without the constant fear of invasion that shaped pretty much every other major power in history. Seriously, think about it. During its own incredibly bloody civil war, no other major country really got involved. And then, during World War I and World War II, wars that literally tore Europe and Asia to pieces, the American homeland was physically untouched. That kind of security is a luxury that almost no other nation has ever had. So, let's recap. You've got insane internal wealth, and you've got unmatched external security. So what's the last step on the road to superpower? You use that safe and secure position to project your power and control the world's commercial highways. From a geopolitical point of view, it was almost like a three-step playbook. Step 1, get control of that resource-rich heartland. Step 2, make sure your borders are secure. And step 3, use that continental fortress to dominate the ocean trade routes that connect you to the rest of the world. And here it is, the final killer piece of the geographic puzzle. The United States is the only major power that is a true two-ocean nation. It has dominant coastlines on both the Atlantic and the Pacific. As the world changed, this position became even more ridiculously powerful. For centuries, the Atlantic was everything. But then, as trade with Asia exploded, the Pacific route grew to match it. And today, the U.S. finds itself perfectly positioned at the center of the whole shebang. So why does controlling the oceans matter so much? Because of this number, a mind-boggling 95% of all global trade travels by sea. It's simple. If you control the waves, you control the flow of the entire world's economy. And the result of all these geographic advantages piling up, you get a military that's just on another level. I mean, look at this chart. The US doesn't just spend more than the next country, it spends more than the next 11 countries combined. That's the kind of money that ensures your Navy can protect those global sea lanes anywhere on Earth. So, in the end, it all comes back to the map, doesn't it? The fertile land, the connected rivers, the protective oceans, and that two-ocean access. When a country's foundation is that strong, built on geographic facts that just don't change, it really makes you wonder, was America's rise to the top ever really in doubt?